All right, everybody, we are going to get started. Thank you for joining us. This is Brian Fulcher with Unify, and I've got Earl McLean, who is our Director of Training with me as always. This is our eighth next level presentation that we've done. And so thank you for joining us. We started these back in, I think, May, and this is already number 8. And one of the things I've thought a lot about, 2020 has obviously been just a crazy year all the way around the board for a lot of things, obviously with COVID dominating. But in the mortgage industry, you just think about the tremendous job we've done taking really $1 trillion industry, a really important, a very critical industry, bringing it home for the most part, bringing it all virtual, bringing it online, and we really haven't missed a beat. So I think the whole industry really deserves to take just a minute, pat themselves on the back, and congratulate themselves for really a job well done. But I was looking at some stats from the MBA, and really not stats, but more their forecast for 2021. And it was kind of looking at those stats that led to this presentation today. And just a couple things. Let's look at refinances for 2020 are going to finish around $2 trillion in originations. It's incredible. But the forecast for 2021 is that they'll be around $971 billion. So over $1 trillion less in refi opportunity in 2021 than there was in 2020. The good news, though, the silver lining, is that purchase business is not only going to grow, is not only going to stay steady, it's going to grow. According to the MBA, we're about a $1.4 trillion purchase market this year. That is expected to be over $1.6 trillion next year, again, according to the MBA. So, look, this is the opportunity. Trying to figure out how to identify our clients that needed refinances were the opportunity for this year. The opportunity in the next 12 months is going to be solidifying your realtor relationships, building upon them, and finding new ones, because that's where the opportunity is going to be in our industry as we look forward to 2021. So a couple different things we want to talk about, some next level tips to use Unify to attack this opportunity, make the most of this opportunity, and allow you to benefit from this opportunity. So I think the first thing is that your realtor partners currently could feel a little forgotten. Because we've been so focused on that $2 trillion in refi opportunity that's been in front of us, and those clients are calling us and lighting up our phones and filling our inboxes. So let's re-engage our realtors, and let's begin to look at who are the realtor partners we want to work with. And one of the best ways to do that is to put them on kind of a set it and forget it drip campaign, so that they're getting timely information from you, you're staying top of mind, and they know you're available to write those purchase loans for the new contracts they're writing. So Earl, I'm going to turn it over to you. Can you show people how to get those drip campaigns up and going?
Of course. Thank you, Brian. It really has been an amazing year. With all the horrible things that have happened to us, we've got some really cool things that came out of it. So I know my wife has been in the mortgage business for 29 years. She's been writing loans, and we've had a really, really, really good year. And I'm sure many of you have as well. So keeping now in touch with your realtor partners, there are a couple of ways that you can do it automatically through the system. Okay. One of those ways is to make sure that you have your marketing concierge set up. Now, let me tell you a little bit about a piece that I send out to my wife's realtor partners. Okay, I've got it set up in her account. Let me go on through here. I'm going to go to the very end here. If you want to use this drop down over here, you can view all the campaigns that you have set up in your concierge. Just expand this to however many. I've got quite a few of them set up here, probably 30 or 40 in this test account. And by the way, I am in a Unified Funding Corp as a fictitious loan company. Kristen Little's account, which I am logged in as, is a fictitious loan officer. So all of this is for demonstration purposes only, but yours will look the same way. Maybe a little color change, but yours will look the same way. This weekly financial focus right down here at the bottom. When you set up a concierge program, what you're doing is you're setting up an automated campaign that goes out from now on until you actually go in and stop it or pause it. And you'll see these running signs. These little play signs mean that all these campaigns are currently running. So I've got campaigns set up for everything from birthdays to fall time and spring time changes, Easter, Halloween. I mean, I've just got a ton of stuff set up in here. You can set up as much as you want. Okay. If your company happens to be participating in the Inquiry Alert program, there's even campaigns that you can set up for that. But this weekly financial focus, we designed it specifically for real estate partners or business partners. Okay. You can, basically you could set it up for your FAs, financial advisors, or your insurance agents or whatnot. And you can include them in the business contact category. Now, what a cool thing that you could do with this, by the way, by setting this up. And it's a simple matter of going through 3 steps. You select the service, which is the weekly financial focus. Okay. That's going to be the service. I want to send out this newsletter every week. You select the campaign, which is the one newsletter because it's written fresh every week with current topics in it. Realtors love it. And then you select your audience. Okay. Let me show you the steps real quickly, and then I'm going to show you the piece. Okay. You create a new campaign, which means that you're going to go all the way to the bottom down here and you're going to set up this weekly financial focus. Now, let me tell you a story about this newsletter. I had a loan officer call me. She was from New York. I'll never forget her. Her name was Ann Baxter. She called me up. She goes, Earl, she goes, I've never been in the system before, the CRM. And I said, well, shame on you. She says, I know, right? And I said, well, what can I do for you? She goes, well, I got a call from a brand new real estate agent that said that the article that I sent her was phenomenal. And she wanted to know if I wrote it or if I use a service. She goes, can you please show me what I sent her? And so I brought her in here and I showed her this piece. The next part of this, by the way, is to select the marketing campaign. That just means what piece do you want to use? And this was the piece that she was sending out to this realtor partner. Okay. If you click into this, by the way, you'll be able to get a look at it and see what it looks like. I'm going to click into it once. It's going to take me to a page where I can actually click into it right here. Okay. And I click into that thumbnail and I get a preview of it. So anyway, I brought her in here and I showed her this. Okay. It's housing news. It's, it's all industry related. You don't want to set this up to everybody in your database, but set it up specifically for realtor partners. It's finance news. They can read a little teaser on the article and then click down here to go to more of it. So she said this real estate agent really loved it. So I showed her this piece and she absolutely went crazy over it. Your information will come into the bottom. She went crazy over this piece. And so I said, well, you want me to keep it running? She goes, absolutely. Now here's the cool thing about this piece. When you select this and you select running down here and you hit save, okay, it's going to be set up twice in my account, but that's okay. I'll remove one of them. But I'm going to go on down and I'm going to select all the way at the bottom. And this is the one I just set up. Okay. I just set this up for all people in my database. Don't do that. When you go to that 3rd step, okay, and I want you to notice that you can set it up to all contacts, which is what I had the other one set up to, or I can select groups. Now, remember, if you put into groups, you'd have to add these realtors to that group. But if I select category, and I select my realtor partner category, all those realtors that come over from the loan files will be included in this campaign. And that's where she picked up this other real estate agent. That's where she found her. She was on the listing side of the deal. Okay. And so anyway, you add that to there and then you click save and it will add all of your realtor partners to that campaign. Now I'm going to go in the last over here and I'm going to get rid of that other one that I set up to all. Okay. You just delete it just like that and get rid of it. Now, here's the cool thing. I was doing a feature training on this service, okay, on the marketing concierge, and I was talking about the weekly financial focus and why you want to set up for your realtor partners. I looked over at the chat box and I noticed that Ann Baxter was in the room. Now, this was about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months after we had talked. She all of a sudden got interested in the CRM. So anyway, I asked her, I said, Ann, and I stuck my neck out here, but it paid off, I guarantee you. I said, Ann, are you the loan officer that called me a few months back and said that you got a really positive response from a brand new real estate agent due to this piece, Weekly Financial Focus? She goes, I sure am. And I said, well, let me ask you another question. Are you working with that realtor today? She said, I sure am. So folks, you can pick up new real estate agents with this piece. They seem to love it. This will go out every week. It's written, fresh material. It's great stuff. Okay. Now, there is a place for you to put marketing partners, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. But this is the first thing you'll want to do is make sure you get this concierge program set up. All right. If you want to set up a marketing partner, you can do that either by adding the partner right here. Just go to your marketing partners. And these are people that you're setting up to co-brand with. So make sure that your company allows that. But you could start by just filling out all these fields. There's a couple of fields that I want to point out down here that are really important. One of them is this board. Now, this board will be chosen based on what state you set this person up into. Now, my dummy database is all out of Florida. That's where our main office is. So I'm going to show the Florida boards, okay? If you can get this piece of data, okay, they're the board that they belong to and the membership number, then when you go in to build a open house flyer, you'll be able to push a button and publish a single property website. But you have to have this information in here. I'll give you a brief description why. Our vendor establishes relationships with all these different boards. We don't scrape the page of Zillow or scrape the page of realtor.com. That's not legal. But he houses all the information on his own servers. According to him, a real estate agent, because it's their listing, can create a website anywhere they want. But a loan officer cannot, because it's not our listing, okay? We're not a paying member to that board. So, but we can build it with our realtor's permission. This gives us that permission, okay? Knowing the board and their membership number. Now, you're not asking them for their password. You just need their membership number and what board they belong to. Plug those two pieces in, and we'll show you how to build that website. Now, we're gonna show you one a little bit later. An easy way to get people into this marketing partners bucket is if they're still on your dashboard under the partners tab, because we bring them over here the first time that we see them on a loan file under this partners tab right here. Okay, you can go to your partners tab, and if you haven't deleted a bunch of people off of here, they may still exist here. Okay, one of your realtors that you're working with that you want to co-brand with. All you have to do is just use this little plus sign right on the side over here. Okay, when you click that little plus sign, it's going to bring over all the information that we brought in from the loan file, and it's going to put it in this little quick add. You hit save partner on there, and it's going to add them to that bucket under marketing partners. Now, you still have to go over here and complete their profile. You do that just by clicking on their last name. You see this person doesn't have a logo. Okay, it shows right there. It's indicated that it's not green, so there's no logo. So I would click on Richard's last name. It would take me into that marketing partner information page that I showed you could just start filling out. Okay, and I've got him associated with the board, and I've got a membership number down here. Okay, I still need to upload that logo. All right, but that's how you would complete the profile. Okay, Brian, that's that part of it. Where do you want to go next?
I think where we want to go to next is, so now you've kind of gotten the attention of your existing partners, the people you know. Maybe you've added some partners like Earl talked about of some top agents in your area that you'd love to work with. And now they start to reach out to you and wondering how they can be of service. Obviously, doing pre-approvals and writing loans is great. But one of the things that have really become popular during the last year is the single property websites that Earl was talking about. One, they make a realtor look really good. They make you as a loan officer look really good. But where they've really been effective for people is using them as kind of a virtual open house flyer for people, as they do a lot of virtual open houses. So great thing to provide to your agents, and Earl's going to walk you through how to build one of them right now.
Yeah, well, we won't go through the entire process of building one. I know you guys are really, really busy, but I will show you what they look like and show you the basic steps that you'll go through to build them. Under the marketing tab, you'll go to the campaigns library. There's a middle tile right here that says open house flyers and rate sheets. Now, the rate sheets are pretty straightforward, so I'm not going to go into those. They're pretty easy to build. Just click on the tile and make some choices and fill out the fields, and you'll see how they work. You have the ability to build with or without payments on these open house flyers, okay? So I'm gonna choose one with payments. When you first get into here and you click into this template, okay, I'm just gonna use this first one right here. You'll have several templates, and they'll be in your colors when the finished product comes out. But here is where you would actually establish that marketing partner relationship, okay? I would pick a marketing partner that is under my active file. You see there's also an inactive right down here, okay, where you have inactive files. That's a company decision. Some companies allow you to activate your partners yourselves, and some of them you have to go through a company manager or through your branch manager to activate those. But if they're active, and if you have them associated with a single property website, then a button right down here, this button is going to light up, and you're going to be able to push that button once you've built the flyer, and it will give you a URL down here that you can show. Now I'm going to go to one that I've already got to show you kind of how this happens. But when I plug in the zip code and the MLS number, try that first and then hit get MLS info. If it doesn't find it, try adding the address. Okay, adding the address a lot of times will help it with the search results. But if you can find it automatically like that, the system will go out and it will bring in the first 6 photos that it finds. It will bring in the listing price. It'll bring in, it'll give you an automatic headline. Now you'll still have to give it an open house date, but it'll give you a headline. It'll give you a subhead. It'll bring in the description. Check to make sure the description isn't too long. It's not going to push your flyer down off to the next page. And it'll bring in how many, features they have, all the bathrooms, the garages, and all that kind of stuff. It'll bring that in automatically. Save that open house form, and then if your marketing partner that you choose to do this with is associated with the board, you'll be able to click this button right down here. Otherwise, you'll get a red code, error code saying your marketing partner must be associated with the board in order to use this feature, okay? But let me take you into one and just show you what this looks like. From here, and by the way, before I go there, I'll say that then all you do is go into the loan scenarios, okay? You go into these loan scenarios and you build them out. They're really simple to do. And I'm going to point you to a video that'll walk you through the whole thing. But these are really, I know it looks complicated, but it's really not complicated at all right? They're simple to build. But I'm going to go back over to these open houses and show you what one of these look like otherwise it'll take us 10 minutes to walk through the whole thing. Okay, I'm just going to choose this one right here. This is a flyer that I built during a training, and I built it live, okay? And so all of this populated right there on the training. All right, there we go. So you see this place is in Tampa, Florida. This is the address up here. We got the zip code. This is the listing that I added when I hit the get MLS listing, and it brought in these 6 pictures. I can show closing costs on this flyer if I want to. Again, you have to give it a date. Now, some people just use these as just listed flyers as well. So you could change this headline to just listed instead of being open house, all right? Don't miss this one, or welcome. And this is that description that I told you about, that if it gets too long, your flyer will push down onto the next page, okay? Because this creates an 11.5 by, or it won't push down the next page, but it'll lose some of this description, okay? It'll push down underneath the other features, okay? Hit Save Open House Flyer, and then hit Publish Website, and you'll get this URL right down here. Now, the cool thing about it is that I don't even have to build the loan scenarios to publish this website. If I don't build them, your contact info is going to show up on the site. Let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to go to View Website, and it literally builds this website when you save that flyer and hit that Publish Website, okay? Here's the website, and you'll notice right off the bat, it doesn't have all the advertising down the sides of other lenders and other real estate agents, okay? So now your realtor can promote this site as opposed to sending them to Zillow or whatever MLS they're on. Okay, it'll scroll through the pictures, or they can click on the pictures in order to view them. The property description pops in automatically right from building the flyer. Same thing with the listing price, how many bedrooms, the amenities, features, or the additional features are going to show up here. And that's all part of the flyer. And then your disclaimer will pop right in down here at the bottom. This is a 5-page responsive website. Okay, so you've got a map to the site. And we use Google Maps. So if they have a borrower or a buyer that may be looking at this site, wants directions to the house, they can get it right here. They've got the financing for the property on another page. Now, again, this is where if I had not built loan scenarios, your contact data in a block with your picture and everything, and your partner's contact data in a block with their picture, logo, contact information will show up on this page. The minute that you build those loan scenarios and save those to that flyer, it auto-populates the website. Okay, you don't have to republish it or anything. It updates the website when you build those financing loan scenarios. They have a mortgage calculator they can visit if they want to use that. There's a contact us page. Now I see a lot of loan officers that will take this on an iPad to the open house, and they'll have people sign in. Okay, and then when they do that, they hit send. Both you and your realtor partner will get an email with all this contact data in it. All right. So it's really nice. Now, by a responsive website that I was talking about, it means that this site looks good on any size of a page. So if I take and disconnect this from my bar, okay, you see how I've disconnected it, right? All right, and then if I minimize this page, because a lot of people are out there shopping around and they've got their cell phones open and they're looking at things on their cell phone. If they're looking at this site on their cell phone, as it gets smaller, and this is what a responsive site means, As it gets smaller, it readjusts itself to the screen. So it looks good on any size screen. So if they're looking at it on their cell phone, they're probably looking at it like this. Okay, so you see the text stays nice and large. The images stay scrolling at the top. Property features will come down. So if they're looking at this on a pad or a phone, everything is still in there. It doesn't cut anything off. That's called a responsive website. All right. Now, one other thing that we've done with this website is we've added some features up here where they can post this if they want to their social media page. So if I pop into and click on this Facebook link up here at the top, it's going to go to my Facebook. I can say something about it right here. I can say, you have to check this out. This is really a cool house. But I can type my little message right up here at the top. It's going to bring that property image in, the first one it sees, the address. If they click on this, it takes them back to that single property website. All right. And then they can post it to their Facebook right down here at the bottom. All right. So very, very cool. Anything else, Brian? There's lots of other ways to co-brand too, as well in the system.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's just one really great way. So just kind of, again, I like to make this kind of a simple 3-step process when we do these next levels. So we've talked about how to set up realtors or prospects on a drip campaign. One tool you can use, as you said earlier, there's several others, but there's the single property websites. Yeah. And then when you start working with a realtor on a loan in progress, we all have heard, I've been in the industry for 20 plus years, we all hear that one of the big problems is a lack of communication. So our in-process communications are a great way to keep your realtor partners involved in what's going on. And honestly, if you're working, if you get that listing agent's info and get them added to the system, it's a great way to, maybe prospect for a new realtor partner because you've done such a good job of communicating with that listing agent. So Earl's going to walk through and show you what those in-process communications look like, how to set them up. Go ahead, Earl.
Yep. Okay, and some of you might have seen me clicking around. In your marketing library, if you go in there and you search out a flyer or an email, there's usually 2 versions of the same one. One of them will say co-brand. If you do that, you can bring people in and co-brand. There'll be a little drop down in the top right that asks you which marketing party you'd like to use. But in your loan files, if you have loans in process, they're going to be in my pipeline over here. And by clicking on this loan number, okay, and you'll see if I have a marketing partner associated right here down the side. But by clicking on this loan number, it will bring you to the loan details. Now, I know that Encompass runs really, really slow. Opening up a loan file over in Encompass, if you just want to look up some information, takes a long time because that's what my wife uses. This will show you really, really quickly because we literally sync information over from these loan files every 15 to 20 minutes. Our larger companies, it only takes like 30 to 40 minutes to sync all this data over. And now that we've switched over to the new API with Encompass and some of these other LOSs, it's even faster. Okay, so we're getting information over here really, really quick. But if you look under this communications tab right here, it will show you the types of in-process communications that go out on your behalf during the process of the loan. All right, and there will be a date that's associated with when that went over. That date is the date that is inputted into the field in your LOS, in your loan origination software. Okay, now these are not necessarily date driven, but they are field driven. Okay, because we don't want loan officers to look silly if their processor forgets to put a date in the field when this event happened. So there's a 24-hour window built in around this. Okay, 24 to 48 is really what it is. If they don't enter this date, the date that they put in here, if it's not date time stamped within the date that they put in here within that 24 or 48-hour period, then the email doesn't fire. That way you don't look funny because you called your borrower when the processor told you, hey, we got the appraisal in. It looks great, on Monday. And then she forgets to put that field in until Friday, but she backdates it. Okay, that's beyond that 48-hour period. And so that one won't fire. Otherwise, your contacts, after you called them on Monday, told them their appraisal came in and looks great. On Friday, you get an email that says, hey, we just got your appraisal. It looks great. You don't look silly that way. Okay. So just so you know that we've safeguarded you there. But these dates will indicate when these things happen. Okay. So appraisal ordered in, and these are all company driven. So we set them up special for your company. So they may not be identical to what you have here, but you'll have at least 7 in most cases of these different IPCs, we call them, in-process communications. Okay, and you can include a marketing partner on a specific loan file. Okay, so I could choose one of my marketing partners and say, I want to save this for this one loan. Now you have to be the loan officer of record in order to do that. If you only work with one realtor or one marketing partner, okay, you can save it as a default, okay? But you can also change who these go out to. Now, I will tell you that all of these communications are written for the intended recipient. So if you want to see what these look like, go into marketing, go to your campaign library. It's going to open up right down here under system communications. Now you'll see I had 8 touch points there, but I've got 34 communications. If I click into this and I go to milestone emails, click into that tile, it'll bring me to the actual pieces. And there, like I said, there's 34 of them, but you'll see this one was written for the co-borrower. This one is the one that comes to you when this event happens. Okay, it'll let you know that, hey, this just got sent out to, you know, so-and-so and so-and-so. This one's for the borrower. Okay, you'll see that there are buyer's agent, there is sent to processing for co-borrower, there's loan originator to sent to processing. So each one of them are written for the intended recipient. That way it looks more personalized, like it really actually came from you. These are automated, folks. If your company has these set up through our system, then as your loan progresses through the process, they automatically go out for you. Okay, so this is another way that you can keep your realtors involved in the loop by automating this process and including them on their loans, on the loans that they sent you. Okay, Brian?
Thanks, Earl. Yeah, that really kind of sums up our process. This one went a little longer than we normally like to, but I just think it's so key. Again, to go back to those stats and that forecast from the MBA that we talked about at the beginning, this is really the opportunity for 2021 to keep our pipelines full. Again, the purchase market's going to grow to 1.6 trillion by their forecast. The refi market's going to shrink by over $1 trillion. That's huge. So again, get your partners set up on a drip campaign. Use the marketing tools. The single property websites are a great one, and get those in-process communications set up so that your realtors think that you're just a rock star at communicating. And I think you'll have a lot of success. It's a really good foundation for building a lot of success in the purchase environment that we're rolling into for 2021. So with that, again, congrats on a great 2020. We've done incredible things as an industry. Everyone deserves a big pat on the back. And let's just keep it going, even though it looks a little different in 2021. So with that, Earl and I will stick around for a few questions, but that ends. If you have any questions, we'll stay here till people leave. But that ends our next level, and I just hope everyone has a great holiday.
All right, thanks everybody. And remember, we're going to send a recording out to everybody that's here. Even if you registered and you're not here, you're going to get one. So we'll send the recording out. Thanks, Brian. Wonderful job.